Reiko, we've been waiting for 20 minutes.
I wouldn't say that.
She's just so cute under that box.
EA could actually launch a game that doesn't suck.
You know what this game needs?
Holy
Ponies.
Just like everybody.
Anybody else notice that the protagonist looks a lot like Egoraptor?
This week is going to be as awesome as Duke Nukem Forever.
Hello and welcome to Bluescreen Bronies, episode 59. I'm your host, D-Pad, for the night. So, a few interesting stories to come up. First of all, I'd like to start off with a little bit of fun news. Looks like we've got a game jam in the works here. The Crystal Games Challenge is being fired up by the Gamer Cult Foundation. The way it works is that it's completely online, and you can submit something as a group or as an individual, regardless of skill. And so after registrations are done, they'll release a theme, and from there you got to take it and run. So the challenge runs from June 22nd at 12 p.m. until June 24th at 12 p.m. So after that, submissions will be sent out and a winner will be chosen. So it looks like a lot of fun for anybody who's an up-and-coming dev or wants to be part of a team or make something fun. All right, next up, Kotaku has been fortunate enough to receive some specs of a Nintendo console that never quite was. If you'll recall, back in late 80s, early 90s, there was a merger going down between Nintendo and Sony in order to play CD-based games on their console. Now, this fell through, and that's how he ended up with the PlayStation that, pretty much almost beat out the market at that point in time. But now somebody has anonymously donated a wonderful stack of papers that has some interesting information regarding patent stuff, as well as specs and some other really interesting details. It's nice to see some old technology pop back up, especially after it disappears on us like that. Next up, Nintendo announced that there's going to be a new Ace Attorney game on the Nintendo 3DS, following Dual Destinies. Now, while Dual Destinies was a little bit more of the traditional Ace Attorney, with a bunch of the characters that we've seen in the past, this one might be something new. Now, I'm not sure how the Ace Attorney fans are going to take that, or any real Nintendo fan. Change is not really well received at times, but I mean, it's good to be optimistic about this sort of thing, because Ace Attorney has been a long-running series with a fair amount of success. It's a fun style of game, and honestly, it makes for a really fun play on like the mobile handset, because you can take it with you, and it works out really well. Geez, still on the subject of Nintendo. If you've been on Twitch recently, you might have noticed that League isn't the most popular thing going on anymore. It's watching 15,000 people attempt to play the same Pokemon game. So Twitch Plays Pokemon is basically what would happen if you were playing Pokemon Red and you were in a live stream and you had to do exactly what the people in the stream told you to do, and there happens to be about, on average, a couple thousand of them. As you can imagine, Red's all over the place. All glory to the Helix fossil. For those of you that don't know how it works, there's two forms. There's anarchy and democracy. So anarchy is literally when the script that plays the game reads off the comment and then he performs the action, while democracy is when the script counts up the number of votes towards an action and then performs that. They've been playing for about 7 days so far, and they pretty much just got past Giovanni, which is astounding to me that you can get a whole bunch of people together and actually, get something done. Although they were stuck on Route 9 for something like 24 hours, so it only works so well. But as a social experiment, it's fascinating. Apparently there's a new game coming out called Horse Game, which is recruiting. A little bit more on the pony side of things. Looks to be a third-person platformer with elements from Magicka, Ratchet and Clank, and of course MLP. But it's a little bit early to make any kind of judgment. We don't really have too much going on. It's really just a call to arms. We'll drop a link for you if you're interested. Seems kind of interesting, although not really enough to make an informed decision yet. Next up on up-and-coming games is Mugenics, from the creators of Binding of Isaac and Super Meat Boy. Mugenics is basically a game about breeding super cats, or regular cats, and maybe some genetically defective cats. It's a lot about cats. And it's going to feature an interesting mechanic, that's for certain. Supposedly, you're supposed to get different characters on different days of the week. Each character plays a vital role, does different things, so you're going to have to keep coming back to get the full experience. Not unlike what would happen with Animal Crossing. Although I really like to be able to knock out a 6-hour game session and crash, but I mean, I guess if long term this is what you're going to do, then it works out pretty well, and so you don't overload on just one day. Not really sure how I feel about that. Then, next up, Gearbox says that they are not working on Borderlands 3 just yet. However, they do have 2 IPs that are on the way for the next-gen consoles. They have acquired both Homeworld and Brothers in Arms Furious 4, which is kind of similar to the Borderlands dynamic where you have 4 different characters with different skill sets working together. Seems like, if you got a good formula, why break it? Next up, unfortunately, the Year of Luigi has an official ending date, which is the 18th of March. It's been about a year since they announced it on Nintendo Direct that they would be featuring Luigi as the character of the year, so to speak, with a number of games, spin-offs, and all sorts of some fun stuff with them. It's been fun. We've had new Super Luigi Brothers, Luigi's Mansion, bunch of fun games. Super Mario World 3D as well, although he wasn't the star character in that, but it's still good to appreciate him since he's been around for about 30 years and living in the shadow of Mario all this time. Next up, back on the Pony game side, we have a trailer for Luna's Letter, which appears to be a 3D rendered, interesting looking kind of, I don't quite know what to call it. Not quite a bullet hell kind of game, but definitely an interesting flight and shoot mechanic. Still pretty early in the game, it looks like, so can't really make a informed decision on what it's going to be, but definitely looks impressive with the artwork and the way it functions. It's pretty neat. Alright, now a bit of sad news. Unfortunately, the BioShock dev Irrational Games has come to a close today. Ken Levine stated that he wanted to make a new venture with a smaller studio. Now, unfortunately, this means layoffs and the fact that 2K Games is now retaining the rights to BioShock, which is a bit sad to see, a game that just featured, cross-game storytelling and a fun timeline go to something like 2K, which is kind of a big company, although can't really make judgment just yet, but looks to be interesting whatever Ken Levine's working on. He has quite a good track record for games, whether large or small. Finally, some good content coming to the PS4. Transistor coming in 2014 to the PS4. Now, this is from Supergiant Games, the same people who made Bastion, which is a phenomenal game. Won a bunch of Game of the Year awards. Huge hit, sold over 2.5 million copies. The PS4's hardware is pretty comparable to PC, so, I guess I can see why the transition would happen. Also, maybe Sony cut him a deal? Who knows? But either way, I'm sure PS4 fans will be happy to hear that they'll be able to play Transistor later this year. Then Valve's been having some shady business as of late. Valve's VAC anti-cheat program has raised suspicions of data mining. What this means is that they are taking DNS and information regarding where you've been on the internet and what you've done, and storing it for an unknown period of time. If long-term, short-term, it's really unknown. Gabe Newell has come out and stated that this is basically to try to help determine where cheaters are coming from and keep them from coming back, since, the bans are only so efficient. But potentially it has been compromising your internet security. Now, he states that they're not sending your browser history to Valve, and they don't really care where you've been, and that they're not an evil overlord corporation, unlike the NSA. But it's really hard to tell right now, because that's personal information going out, and if they're getting a hold of it and we don't know what they're doing with it, it's a problem. Now, lastly, a new development has come out where you can bet real money on Super Streetfighter IV. That should certainly make games a little bit more interesting. On the new Super Street Fighter IV Arcade Edition, players on PS3 and Xbox 360 over the age of 18 can bet on head-to-head matches. That sounds like that could end in a couple of fistfights in real life. I don't know if I'd be willing to put my money down on Evo stuff, but there's probably an audience for it. Anyway, now we're going to move towards some more roundtable discussion with the, let's say, up-and-coming potential member who gets a fun trial by fire tonight. Please welcome Indy to the scene.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am Indigo Wisp, or just Indy for short, as most of my friends call me, since I'm really big in the indie part of gaming, lately anyway.
Well, indie gaming's a good place to be right now. We've had fun games like Risk of Rain and Dungeons of the Endless, and of course, Bastion, which was a huge indie hit that we were talking about earlier.
And then there's Outlast. That looks like an amazing game.
Oh, it is fun. It was a PlayStation Plus free game this month for PlayStation 4.
Wow, really? For that new of a game?
Yeah, right?
That's interesting.
Gotta be making waves if that's happening.
I also discovered something interesting. Am I allowed to talk about new games that are coming out?
Yeah, go for it.
I discovered something interesting and new that Frictional Games is working on. It's called Soma.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, I saw some screens from that. That looked really neat.
I saw a little video clip of it on the Soma website, and it looks just completely amazing.
Now, it looks like they took a little bit of influence from Alien with their
it does
design.
Look a bit like that. But the beginning part of it, it shows like it's got the same physics, of course. You click on something and you can move something. It showed him shove like this. Be aware this is about as gory as Amnesia was. It shows him stick this thing in this guy's open skull, and it starts shocking this guy on his bed. It doesn't completely give you a lot of knowledge of what's going on. It just kind of shows you it involves brains, and it's interesting. It looks very good.
Mm-hmm. Well, it definitely looks interesting. So, of the past few stories, anything really catch your attention?
First, betting on Street Fighter. That I don't know. That might not be the best decision.
No.
Like you said, that could start fistfights. Not only that, it actually could start probably something more than fistfights. It could turn best friends into enemies. It could turn.
Yeah, when you put money on the line, things get really serious.
But I do have to say this: Ryu all the way.
Go full Ryu.
I just Hadouken. Just always.
I've been more of an Akuma fan myself, or if somebody knows how to play a good Zagat.
Oh yeah. It's actually funny. Do you know Sean Klitzner?
I do not.
He's actually a YouTuber, and it's funny. How I got into him was he plays old school games on his Klitzner Games, and the way I got into him was actually Street Fighter.
That's neat.
And I mean, lately he hasn't been posting anything. It kind of sucks. But he plays a lot of old school games, even the crappy ones. Another thing that really sticks out to me is the fact that Irrational Games, the developer, is going to smaller games. I really think that's a good idea.
Yeah. No, I mean, smaller games, smaller teams always do, well, not always, but tend to have a better bunch of games to come out. Like, look at look at how, what's it called? Double Fine has been evolving over the years with Tim Schafer and his crew. I mean, right now they're doing the Amnesia Fortnite, which has been some really cool indie games popping up.
Oh, yeah.
But, there's been some really cool stuff coming out of small teams. I mean, hell, Dust and Elysian Tale was made by, programmed and all the art was made by one guy.
Wow.
And that game was a rabid success.
Yeah. And I'm sure we can all agree that we all love Psychonauts.
Mm-hmm.
But yep. I know it's an older game, but I just have to put that out there.
It's still relevant. I mean, there's also Brutal Legend and stacking and
Brutal Legend didn't get the love it deserves.
No, it didn't.
I mean, it's
aged well, though. I'll give it that.
Oh yeah, and plus, come on, Jack Black.
Jack Black seems to be one of Tim Schafer's old buddies now because he's also in Broken Age too.
Hello there. Who am I? I'm Harmony Lightbeard, the lifter of clouds.
Really? Mm-hmm. I don't think I know that game. I'll have to look it up.
Oh yeah, that's the new thing they just made.
Okay, and as John Tron said, please make a Psychonauts sequel.
I don't know if you really need a sequel. I mean, the game itself was pretty cool.
It was very... Nothing ever like that will be made again.
Nope. I mean, it was unique. It's got that, Double Fine feel to it that we all like.
Yeah. And I'm hoping to, for any of you who don't know, I actually do Let's Plays on YouTube, and I'm hoping to Let's Play that game soon. And let's see, something else that's... I saw a little bit of the trailer for that new game. What was it called? Luna's Letter? Mm-hmm. And it looks pretty good. I mean, I didn't watch all of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely got potential.
It does. And I really like the fact that... sorry about my horrible memory. Gaming cults, were they the ones recruiting?
Yeah, they're the ones running that game jam, the Crystal Games Challenge.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're actually just getting out there, trying to get more people to help. Mm-hmm. It's really good.
Yeah, game jams are always fun. Yeah, hash out a few here at college and do some other stuff. Even if you're not that great at coding, it's fun to go with a group and throw ideas off each other and then make something silly.
Oh yeah, it's always just how fun would it be to like do that? How much fun? I'm sorry. How much fun do you bet it was to like throw ideas together with like Psychonauts?
Oh man, just stuff like that. Even small time, just thinking of new stuff. Like even you want to make D&D campaigns. Always making those ideas is so much fun.
Oh yeah, my mouse is freaking out right now. There we go. Sorry.
It's all good.
And I don't know if you've heard, but they're making another Silent Hill for the PS4.
Oh, are they now? I don't know. Silent Hill's been a little bit hit or miss in the past few installations.
A lot of people have said that, but like, I don't know. I can't get enough of them. Like,
they're good. I'm more excited for if we get to see another Dead Space because the last one ended pretty well.
I actually haven't seen the ending to that. I really need to beat that.
It's a fun game, dude. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, from what I've played and seen, it is a really fun game. The only thing I don't like is that they more went to action than horror. Yeah,
that third one was a bit of the black sheep of the group, but it was still good. The co-op was fun. It really was. But I don't know if we're going to see that anytime soon, considering that Visceral Games, the creators and the developers, are also supposedly working on a more dark sci-fi version of a Star Wars game, since EA just got the license for Star Wars stuff.
Interesting. I haven't heard that. I'll have to look that up. Mm-hmm. Also, have you heard of that new game coming out made by the same people who made Resident Evil called The Evil Within?
Oh my god, yes.
It looks really good. Like just the trailer for it. They assured that the monster in that trailer is going to be an actual monster from that game.
Yeah, no. Have you seen the gameplay trailers? Like, they have about 16 minutes up in a couple of places that Bethesda put out for actual gameplay. And that looks really cool.
I have seen some gameplay, and it just, as soon as I saw it, just want in my hands now. Just why can't it be?
Yeah, well, it'll be popping up soon, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, hopefully sometime this year. Mm-hmm. If not, then
I'm pretty sure it's this year. It's slated for next gen release because Bethesda's had their hands in a lot of games recently. I mean, they've got the Elder Scrolls Online. They've got, the new Doom. They've got the new Doom coming out soon. They've got, the new Wolfenstein.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're busy.
Speaking of Wolfenstein, I don't know if any of you heard of this, but you can, if you pre-order Wolfenstein, you can get a beta of the new Doom coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of Doom. I have been ever since I was 6.
Oh, you play the original Doom on emulator or something? Doom 2, eventually get Doom 3 and kind of think,
Well, Doom, I used to, every time we would go to my aunt's house, I would just bring this Super Nintendo and always, we didn't have much money, so we just rented games. So I would always rent Doom and just,
nice.
I would be plastered to the TV.
Yeah, the original Doom was fun. It was a pretty big jaunt for games. It wasn't the first, first-person perspective game, but it's definitely one of the best well-known.
I actually heard that Wolfenstein back then was one of the first games of...
Yeah, it was one of the first.
And I actually heard that people complained that it's so kind of real. It was disturbing to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, people were legitimately scared because they would turn a corner and see something and then freak out because they weren't used to, fighting from the first-person perspective.
Yeah, and that's... I'm glad they didn't end up shutting that down because they've made some amazing games with first person.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And Mugenics, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's a team meat game with oh god, what's his name? Oh Lord, he's a Macmillan. That's it, Macmillan. Oh my god.
Are they the company that also made Castle Crashers?
No.
Okay, well, it's hard to tell because it's the same type of animation style.
Yeah, no, it's that Newgroundsy feel that we've all grown to know and love.
Oh yeah, but the Mugenics, like I used to be addicted to like the Animal Crossing type thing. So Mugenics for me, I have no life by the way. So Mugenics for me will probably be easy for me. Being a person with no life, like I only work Saturdays and Sundays, so
it's a lot of time for games then.
Pretty much. I mean, of course, I spend a lot of time with family, but most of the time when they're gone, it's just games.
All right, man.
And
so that pretty much sums up show for tonight. Remember, folks, we are taking new recruits for the BSB team. You can try to be one of our editors. We need a bunch of those. You can work for us on site because unfortunately we can't get to every convention. But if you can, we'd love it if you could do some coverage for us. You could attempt to be like Indy and get on as another co-host. We like to keep the formula changing up, or many other positions. Send an email to us with the email link below and hope for the best. I'm D-Pad.
And I am Indy.
Thanks so much for listening in. Have a good night.
See ya.